Okay, hey my friends, Jason Sisam here. Hey, hope you guys are doing well. I am going live here on YouTube. I just want to see if my live stream is up and on. So bear with me. All right, I think I am live. So this is good. I'm just checking out the audio, making sure we're looking good. This is good. Okay, so we are live on YouTube. And for those of you who don't know who I am, one, welcome to my channel. My name is Jason Sisam. This is a live audio podcast recording. So, what you're about to experience, what you're about to hear, is me recording a live episode of my podcast. So, forgive me if I don't always pay attention to the camera. I'm going to try to look at the camera. I'm also going to take a look at my notes, making sure that I am doing what I need to do to record this show. So I may edit out this beginning and re-upload this, but for the sake of the live show, if you're going to jump on, that's awesome. And today I'm going to be recording episode number 165 of the JB Sisam Show. You can find my website at jbsism.com, and you can listen to any of my other previous recordings to the show, as well as connect with me there, read any of the other blog posts. I do have several books available online for you to purchase as well. You can also follow me on all of the social media networks at JB Sism. So at JB Sism, you can follow me on all the social networks: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X, formerly known as Twitter. Still trying to get used to that one. So, without any further ado, I'm going to be checking some audio levels, making sure things are good, and then I'm going to hit the record button, and you're going to follow along on a behind-the-scenes look of my recording of the 165th episode of my podcast. So, here we go. I'm going to check some audio, making sure it works. Okay, so that looks like that is working. I'm going to check my audio recorder. Yep, so that's all good. Okay, so here we go. Without any further ado, I'm going to hit the record button on the JB Sism Show podcast. This is going to be episode number 165. I'm talking about using technology for your writing business. So if you're a writer, talking about using technology on how to further or advance your writing business. Okay, so here we go. Without any further ado, we're going to begin. Well, hello, my friends, and welcome to episode number 165 of the JB Sism Show. Welcome to this podcast. If you are following me on all of the social media networks, wonderful to have you here. Again, I am recording this live on YouTube so that you can see a behind the scenes look. So if you wanted to go to YouTube, you can do that at jbsism.com/YouTube, jbsism.com/YouTube. Follow me there. Watch anytime I go live on that platform. Today, we're talking about using technology in your writing business. What are the different things that I'm using? What are we doing as authors to further our business? And what options are out there that we can utilize? So take a listen. I can't wait. Episode 165 starts right now. Well, hello, my friends, and again, welcome to episode number 165 of the JB Sisam Show. My name is Jason Sisam, and this is my podcast. We're talking about using technology for your writing business, Restream, Scrivener, Vellum, Microsoft Teams, ChatGPT, and much, much more. Well, my friends, it is good to be behind the microphone. It's been a couple of months since I have recorded a podcast episode. I am glad to be behind the microphone yet again, and I'm doing something a little bit new, something a little bit different. I'm recording a live behind the scenes version of this show on my YouTube channel. So if you want to know what's going on behind the scenes and what it looks like to record a podcast episode, I give a little bit of preamble ahead of time. You can do that at jbsism.com/YouTube. My friends, again, welcome to today's show. I am so glad to be here. It is a beautiful day on a Saturday on July 19th. No, July 20th. I'm sorry. We are now at the 20th day of July. So we are more than halfway through the year. Hard to believe. I can't believe we're already halfway through the year. That's a tough one for me. Well, today we're talking about technology. And if you have followed my podcast for any length of time, you will know that technology has always been near and dear to my heart. I am a tech geek. I love tech. I love different things that I can do to further my business, further what I'm doing. And the other thing that tech can do for you is it keeps you in the know of what's going on in the world and what people are using today to get their message across. It's so easy for us as entrepreneurs and for content creators to get stuck into our little bubbles, and we don't branch out in some new ventures or new technology to see what's out there. One of the biggest things that is hitting the tech world right now is the advancements that are being made in artificial intelligence. If you have followed the news for any length of time, you will know that artificial intelligence, or AI, is the thing to be jumping into. It is taking our different industries, whether it's the financial industry, whether it's the book industry, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube. We are now seeing AI algorithms that are observing our behaviors and making recommendations to us as we begin our searching or as we move through our different avenues or accounts of life. even even churches are now starting to utilize a little bit more of artificial intelligence, and there are advances that are being made. Now there is also a lot of concern around artificial intelligence, and some individuals are maybe leery, especially if you're in a little bit of an older generation. I'm in my 40s and I love AI, but maybe somebody in their 50s, 60s, or even 70s might be a little bit more leery of AI. And I got to tell you, I have seen some really good advancements. And yet, at the same time, you read stories every now and then where people have abused artificial intelligence for their own gain, for their own purpose. But I think as a whole, as a world or a global economy, I think artificial intelligence is here to stay and is going to make really good advancements on our life. And we can have a deeper conversation about it. Maybe I'll actually record a whole episode around artificial intelligence. But I did want to talk today really about the different tech things, tech pieces that I use for my writing business. One right now, because I am live on YouTube, I am utilizing a software called Restream. Now, the great thing with Restream is Restream is free to use. You can connect it to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, a bunch of others. I'm only doing YouTube right now just to really test out this software a little bit better. I can tell you right now that I like it. I can put captions on the screen. So if you go to YouTube and you look at the video that I have there, you can see the different captions I use. I can tell people to follow me on the different social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, at JB Sism. And I can put a little uh, thing on the bottom of the screen that lets people know. I can also have a ticker, which is kind of neat, letting people know, hey, if you like the show, you can subscribe to a premium newsletter, or you can give me a tip. And if you do like this newsletter, you do like this show, I do have a brand new tip jar that you can use. If you just go to jbsism.com/tip, jbsism.com/tip, or scan the QR code if you're watching on YouTube, it is a way that you can give back to the production of this show. It does cost money to put these shows together. As well as I do have something called a premium newsletter, and I can have a lower third on there with a QR code that says, hey, subscribe to my $5 a month premium newsletter. You're going to get a little bit more behind the scenes stuff. You're going to get a little bit deeper content. You're going to get access to some great free content if you subscribe to this monthly newsletter. You can cancel at any time. You can do that at jbsism.com/plus, jbsism.com/plus, and you can subscribe there, or you can click the QR code and scan that, and you can go right there to subscribe to that newsletter. So I like Restream so far because I can put all these different pieces on there as I go through my show, which is really great. It has a countdown timer, which I really like. Let me switch over to that on the YouTube side. So it mutes my microphone on the live screen, but what's really cool is it shows a countdown timer. So I can have, hey, I'm going live in 30 seconds, or I'm going live in 5 minutes, or whatever it is. That way people know, hey, the live stream is going to be starting soon, which is great. That is one of the biggest things that I have been playing with lately. And if you want to check it out, just go to restream.io, restream.io. I'll have it on the show notes. You can do that at jbsism.com/165. But you can pay for a premium version. It allows you to have advanced features, and you can do a lot more with it. There are other live stream studios out there. One is called Ecamm Live. There's another one. Shoot, I can't remember what it's called right now. I'll have to look it up. But Restream does everything that I needed to do for me. I don't need a lot of big fancy bells and whistles. I don't need to spend a lot of money to be able to go live. If I can just click live, go straight to YouTube, and then I can use that YouTube and put it in my podcast notes on the website. I can embed that video then. It just gives another avenue for like an audio podcast that is now a video podcast, which I think is pretty cool. So give it a try, restream.io. Now, when it comes to my writing, what do I use when it comes to my writing? Now, there are a ton of different writing softwares that are out there. And as a writer, I want to make sure that my thoughts have some cohesion to them. I want to be able to access my writing, access my thoughts quickly. And the one piece of software, now, again, there's nothing wrong with Microsoft Word. I use Microsoft Word for a lot of things, mostly letters, mostly memos or notes. or track changes if I'm working with a client. But when it comes to my own writing, I don't like to use Microsoft Word for my main writing. And the reason I don't like using that is my my writing needs to be liquid instead of linear. And so with Scrivener, one of the best things that I use Scrivener for is I can break my chapters up and I can see each individual chapter. If I don't like where chapter 10 is, I can move it to a new spot without upsetting the formatting, so to speak. I hope that makes sense. And maybe I'll put out a free episode on free recording on using Scrivener here on the channel that you'll be able to take a look at. I do have a course I am working on behind the scenes right now. That course will be available as an evergreen course where you can access that at any time. I'm working on a bunch of things behind the scenes right now. I'll get a little bit more into that in a minute. But the thing with Scrivener is I can have different folders. I can have different buckets that I put different aspects of my writing in. I have the main manuscript folder where all of the chapters and the scenes go into. But then I have a character folder, and I develop each of my characters. And I put a new file for each character. I have an ideas folder where any ideas that I have where I think the story is going to go, but I don't want to put it into my main manuscript, I will put all of that inside of this folder inside of Scrivener. So when I open up Scrivener, all of my folders are on the left-hand side of the screen. Now, the other thing that I can do with Scrivener is I can make highlights. I can make notations similar to track changes. I can write notes about certain paragraphs or sentences. And I can even make notes on my notes. You can get really in depth with Scrivener. I don't go that deep with it, but it's a great way for me to really organize my writing, to make my writing tangible and accessible. I don't feel with Microsoft Word writing is tangible or really all that accessible. I think when it comes to Microsoft Word, you write literally in a linear format. Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. And if you want to find something, you have to use the find feature. If you want to look for something, you got to scroll. And then if you change something and you move it, it might mess up your formatting. It might mess up how you have your documents set up in Microsoft Word. And I did that for my first book, my book Divine Providence. I created a Word document. All of my Divine Providence book manuscript was all in one linear Microsoft Word document. And when I went to make a change, something happened to my work and I lost a large portion of it. Now, gratefully, I had saved an older draft, but I lost nearly a full chapter. I don't know if it was 2,000 words, 3,000 words. It was a bummer. I struggled and I said, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way to write. And that's when I came across Scrivener. Now, I didn't come across it by accident. I was told about it from a writer friend of mine. She's now gone. She's gone home to be with the Lord. And she said, Jason, if you really want to take your writing to the next level, Scrivener is one app that I would encourage you to download. It's free. Now, I had a Windows computer at the time, and I like my Windows computer to a point. Scrivener worked okay on it. Now, I use Macintosh now for everything, and I I feel Scrivener works better on a Mac than it does on a Windows PC. Now, I haven't used the Windows version of Scrivener in a long time, so I can't really talk about it much anymore. However, when she told me about this, I checked it out. And then I took my first book and that manuscript and I broke it up into different chapters. Each chapter was its own document, and it radically changed my writing. Every chapter I write now, every scene I write within a chapter, everything goes into its own document. No more do I have linear writing. It's a lot more fluid. I can move each chapter around. I can move scenes around. It really helps me stay focused. And then if I don't know what to write for that next chapter or that next scene, I just write TBD. I start a new document and I start writing the next chapter or the next scene or whatever it is, maybe that I got stuck on. So that is Scrivener in a nutshell. It is a writing app made by writers for writers. So check it out, literatureandlatte.com. Literatureandlatte.com. You can check out Scrivener there. Now, one thing that Scrivener does not do very well, and that is formatting. Now, I know how to use industry standard formatting software. I know how to use Adobe InDesign or Page Layout, which is by, who is Page Layout by? Affinity. Affinity Designer. I think that's what it's called, or Affinity Pages, something like that. Affinity is a software. It's a lot cheaper than Adobe. You don't pay the monthly fees for it, but I can lay pages out. I can lay all my chapters out and do just as good of a job as the traditional publishers. Now, one thing about doing it that way is very time consuming. And I, for one, as a writer, as a writing coach, as a husband, as a father, and as a financial advisor at Edward Jones, I struggle with the amount of time that I have left. So insert a app that it's about $250 for the app. So it's not radically expensive. The only caveat is it is only for Macintosh or the Apple computers. So that is one of the biggest downfalls to it. So if you're in a Windows computer, I'm sorry, you're kind of out of luck. You probably have to use an app called Atticus for that. Atticus, that's a conversation for another day. But you can check that out as well, Atticus app. But Vellum is a typesetting software that you can use to typeset your print book and your ebook. And it does a flawless job at it. I used to use Microsoft Word for the ebook formatting, and it just, I never liked it. I felt like it was cumbersome. It didn't work very well. And so when I learned about Vellum, I reformatted it and I re-uploaded the ebook, and it's great. I love Vellum. Now you can write in there. Every chapter has its own document. You can put your copyright page in there, your about the author page, and it is one of those apps that I find completely invaluable. Because if it was, let's say, $1,000, I probably would have paid $1,000 for it. Now, there's about 17 different themes, and you can play around with the fonts a little bit. There's about 7 fonts to choose from. You can choose different book layouts. So it works, and it does a great job. Now, it is limited, especially if you're doing nonfiction books. I will throw this caveat out there. it is limited in what it can do. And having, let's say, an image heavy or an aside heavy book, it's not going to do very well on. Now, I have typeset nonfiction on it, and I made it work, and it looks good. But it didn't come easily, and it came with its own set of headaches. So for that being said, it works great for fiction. So if you're writing fiction books, vellum is fantastic for fiction. If you're writing more content-heavy nonfiction, works great for that. You can put your quotes in there, you can put your images and things like that. So keep that in mind. You can get vellum at vellum.pub. Vellum.pub, and it's about, I'm looking up the price right now while I'm recording this, but I believe, $250 for unlimited ebooks and paperbacks. Otherwise, it's $199 for just ebooks. So that's why I say, if you're going to use vellum, just buy the whole thing. $150, you get both ebook and paperback for $50 more. It's worth the price of admission for that. And then the great thing is you generate your documents. You'll get your PDF that you can upload right to Amazon KDP, and they will take those vellum PDFs for your print paperback, which is great. And then it does the Kindle EPUB. It does the generic EPUB. It does a Kobo. It does some other different ebook styles that you can then use and upload to the various electronic book stores. So give it a try. Give it a look. I think it's great. Vellum, I've used for all of my books so far. I use that for my Western series, the latest of which is Purgatory's Revenge, which came out about 2 years ago. You can get that jbsism.com/purgatories-revenge, or just go to jbsism.com/books, and you can select it from the options there. You can get it on Amazon and wherever you find books to purchase, or wherever you want to buy those. I do have links for the different stores there. But if you buy that book or you download the ebook version, you're going to see what vellum can do, and you're going to see how beautifully it lays out each chapter, each book. So give it a try, vellum.pub. That's a great one. The other one that I use this more for my work as a financial advisor. I use Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is a great way to communicate with your team. So if you work with a team of individuals and you need to communicate or pass documents back and forth, Microsoft Teams is a great way to do that. You can attach your OneNote files. You can attach your different Microsoft files. You can call each other. You can Zoom. It's like a Zoom link. It's called a Teams meeting. You can do those. It's a fun app to use, and you can put all of your communication with your team in one place. So I encourage you to give that one a try. Check it out. I would be remiss if I didn't mention ChatGPT, and I mentioned that a little bit at the beginning of this show. ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence communications tool. So you communicate with this artificial intelligence app. Now, ChatGPT is free. You can pay a monthly fee to get additional features. I just use the free version. And if I'm wanting to put together, let's say, an outline about a topic, I may converse with ChatGPT and go back and forth and say, okay, what if we did this? Let's remove this. Let's add this in. And it helps me with the brainstorming process of whether I'm going to write an article or whether I'm going to um, put an audio podcast together, or I'm just thinking about ideas that I could do with a book. Now, I don't use it as the final product. I use it as a brainstorming tool. So, for example, I am working on another novella, and that novella is going to be called Divine Moments. It was part of a anthology series that I did. I did a shortened version of it, about 6 to 8,000 words. This is going to be closer to 20,000 words when it's all said and done. I'm still finishing and putting the final touches on it right now. But there were some aspects of that book that I went to ChatGPT about. Now, obviously, I can't go to the app and say, hey, write me a chapter about XYZ and spit it out. It'll do it, but that's not good. That's not necessarily legal, and you can't use it on Amazon. And I wouldn't recommend it anyway. But what ChatGPT does is it allowed me to flesh out a scene, allowed me to get some research and some information, and it gives me links to where it pulled this research, and I can read a little bit more about the topic that I'm wanting to do. So it's like Amazon Alexa, but on steroids. And then it allows me to dig deeper into a topic and be able to understand that topic more so that I can write about it. I don't use it as the writing itself. I use it more as an idea engine. So ChatGPT, that's one of the things I love about artificial intelligence is I believe it's taking us to kind of that next level of what are we going to see in the future with the advancements in AI. And I think apps like ChatGPT or the Meta AI, I can't remember what they call it right now, it's going to only help us with our brainstorming capabilities and do things that uh, we probably wouldn't be able to do otherwise. So that being said, what am I doing to advance my business? Well, one of the apps that I use, two apps that I use, and I'll touch on them both briefly here. One is ConvertKit. ConvertKit is an email platform, but it's more than that. It allows me to, it's a lead engine, so I can have landing pages, and you can subscribe to my newsletter from there. And that newsletter, jbsism.com/subscribe. It's free to subscribe. So it allows me to collect names, it allows me to collect email addresses so that I can put them in my database so that I have them there. So when I put out a newsletter, people know what's going on in my world when I'm publishing a new book, putting out a new product. And the great thing, what ConvertKit has done is they've added e-commerce to their platform. So I connected my Stripe account to ConvertKit, and Stripe is a payment processing center platform. I connected Stripe to it, and the great thing is I can set up different products. I can set up a subscription, a premium subscription newsletter, and that premium subscription newsletter for $5 a month, I can have recurring revenue coming in to help support the production of my website and my show and my writing. It's like $5 a month. You're going to get access to free ebooks. You're going to get access to behind the scenes newsletter that only paid subscribers are going to get, as well as I am going to be launching my own version of Kindle Vellum. Now, it's not Kindle Vellum, but it is a subscription-based ebook where every week, now I haven't launched it yet, it's coming down the pike, Every week, a new chapter of a book or a series is going to be released, and that every season is going to be its own book, and eventually that book will get published on Amazon. But for $5 a month, you're going to get access to that. You're going to get access to the newsletter. And then I will also have a upgrade where you'll be able to have access to every single book that I purchase and be able to read them for free and download them to your Kindles, etc. I haven't quite figured out all the different tech pieces to get that part to work yet, but it is something I'm working on, a premium service at jbsism.com. The other thing that ConvertKit allows me to do is create a tip jar. So you don't have to subscribe to a premium newsletter. You can simply subscribe to, you can just tip the show. So in other words, if you like the content you hear, if you like what I produce, like you can do as little as $1 tip all the way up to whatever you want to do. I do have some suggestions as well, 5, 10, 20, 50, and then in other where you can put in as little as $1 to tip. But it's a way to give back to the production of this show. So jbsism.com/tip. jbsism.com/tip. And if you do want to subscribe to my premium newsletter, that's jbsism.com/plus. And then while we're speaking of finances, one of the other things that I utilize to keep track of my profit and loss, keep track of the invoices I send to my coaching clients is Wave Apps. So waveapps.com. Waveapps.com. And what that then allows me to do is if I have a client, I can send them a personalized invoice. Or if somebody needs some graphic art design, I can send that individual invoice to have the graphic art design. Now, some of it may be switched over to ConvertKit down the road. I haven't done that yet. But when it comes to, let's say, for example, I'm going to proofread your book. That is hyper customized. So I have to use Wave Apps for that because you got to sign a contract. You got to all of this. So ebook design or book cover design, that will probably be moved over to ConvertKit at some point down the road. But I do want to say this, that Wave Apps in conjunction with ConvertKit really takes care of almost all of the financial pieces that I need to have taken care of for my online writing business. And so those are some apps that I recommend that you take a look at for yourself if you are a writer. Even if you're not a writer and you are just an entrepreneur, there's some really good apps you can use. Restream is great. Microsoft Teams is great. ChatGPT, ConvertKit, Wave Apps. So you can use all of those in your publications, in your business, not publications, I'm sorry. In your business, you can use any of those apps in your business to help grow your business. And that is, for the most part, what I had in store for you today. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode, and I do encourage you to follow me on all of the social media platforms. You can do that at JB Sisam on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X. I have content on all of those different platforms at JB Sisam. And again, if you want my free e-newsletter, I encourage you to just go to jbsism.com/subscribe. And if you want even more content, subscribe to my premium newsletter, JB Sisam Plus. That is jbsism.com/plus. jbsism.com/plus. If you're on YouTube watching this, you can just scan the QR code and that'll take you right there to that. If you do like this show, I encourage you to use the tip jar and tip this show. Help me keep this show going. The tip is as little as $1. jbsism.com/tip. jbsism.com/tip. And again, as always, my name is Jason Sism. You can find the full show notes of the show at jbsism.com/165. And again, my friends, thank you. God bless. Have a great one. We'll see you later. Bye-bye for now. All right, my friends. Well, there you have it. That is the behind the scenes recording of my show. So I hope you've enjoyed that. And I hope you enjoyed the production value that Restream has offered with the lower third stuff, the crawls. And again, I do encourage you to check out my books. You can do that at jbsism.com/books. And I think it's great. So follow me on the socials at jbsism, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or I guess X and TikTok, as well as subscribe to my show, jbsism.com/subscribe. I would appreciate any subscribers. Let me know in the comments what you thought of today's live stream. There was a couple times I felt like I got a little off track there. I got distracted, probably because I'm trying to do a live stream and record an audio podcast, and so that was a new thing for me to do. But all of that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Don't miss any other times I go live. You can subscribe by clicking the subscribe button and click the bell on there so that you never miss another live broadcast. Again, my friends, it's great to be here. My name is JB Sism, and you can find more information about me on my website, jbsism.com. Well, my friends, God bless. Have a great day, and we'll chat later.